Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. I hope you're all having an awesome day or night out there. So I'm not going to be filming this in cinematic mode. I'm just going to film this normally because it's just a piece cleaning video. Hopefully the audio sounds a little bit better. I'm going to try not to speak super loudly because now you're attached to me. So I can turn around and the audio should sound exactly the same. All right, so today we're going to be cleaning some bongs and cleaning a couple of little pieces. What you're going to need for any sort of cleaning video is some isopropyl alcohol. I would recommend getting 90% over 70%. I feel like it eats away at that wax a little bit, or resin a little bit easier than the 70%. I also like to use Epsom salt. That is something that is going to help with the abrasion to actually kind of scrape the sides a little bit. We'll get to that point. And then, like I said, I've got a couple little pipes, which I'm going to use some pipe cleaners for. So you're going to need some pipe cleaners that have got a little bit of grit to them. I don't know how to explain them, but these guys have like a little piece of wire in them. I also purchased today some Formula 420 cleaning brushes. They include 3 different sizes, so that's why I ended up picking this up. It was, I think, $8, something like that, so not too bad. Before we start off, because once I start, there is no stopping, we're going to smoke a little bit of that strawberry cough. Now, a grinder cleaning video is definitely needed. Once the little film that's in between, I don't know how to say that, like the little mesh that's in between the keef area and up top, it just gets so full of keef, especially if you're smoking really resiny or strains with a lot of trichomes on them. So you can see not a lot has gotten through, but this bowl that I packed is stuffed with it, and we're gonna have to do a one hitter because we're gonna be cleaning this. Cheers, everyone. Not quite in one hit. Personally, I like to use a little salt spoon. This is a antique silver salt spoon. That's what I use to scoop up the keef and whatever's in the grinder. Once it gets really powdery, it's hard to pick up with your fingers. Anyway, the first step here is going to be getting your water as hot as possible and rinsing everything off. So I'm going to kind of lower the audio a little bit, and I might speed it up just a little bit just so you're not listening to the water, you know. And actually, now that I think about it, I'm going to flip the camera around and point it in the sink because, again, I really want this to be a Stoner 101. If you've never cleaned a bong, I want people to be able to see how to clean their pieces. So I'm going to flip you around. Okay, and hopefully I'm not completely in the way of you guys seeing what we're doing. So all right, as you could see with that chillum, I kind of had to blow it out because it was really stuffed in there. And I'm realizing now I have a piece or two that are hiding underneath my sink. So let's grab those little babies. Okay, now an absolutely filthy confession. These have sat since I moved, and unfortunately, this MJ Arsenal has the bowl piece stuck in there. So I'm going to turn off the video for a second and try to pry that out with, I don't know, some tweezers or something. It is all the way in there. Ugh. Okay. So unfortunately, this is so packed in there and it's so coated in resin. I'm gonna have to just soak this piece. So I'm gonna continue to rinse everything off and see you once we are done with that. Okay, all but this piece are rinsed out. I'm gonna hit this one more time. I don't know how much you can see of me. You can see this though. So I at least know that's in the frame. Cheers. Youch. Okay, we're gonna rinse this out. Okay, everything is good and rinsed. I keep making sure that it's recording because I'm paranoid that I'm just not going to be recording. Anyway, our 91% isopropyl. We're going to open these bad boys up. I really have a hatred of these sort of toppers. My goodness. So other things that we're gonna need, and I did not mention, were definitely some sort of little plug. It's not necessary, but it definitely helps. I also have a little funnel because we're gonna end up reusing this rubbing alcohol. So a funnel is necessary, and I bought a little silicone collapsible one. Then I also have some resolution caps and some other caps that I got from Hemper. So as you can see, I've got quite a few pieces, so I'm gonna end up using every single cap that I have. But we don't cap them first. You're gonna need to fill them with the rubbing alcohol first, get pretty close to them being full, and then cap them. And that's just because the pressure, if you cap it and then try to fill it, it's not going to want to fill up all of the way. This microphone is definitely weird for me to get used to. Okay. And as you can see, I've got it almost all the way full. I'm not even going to use the cap right now. We'll get there. Just because that one is not really dirty past the neck, unlike this Roar, which is, but this bottle's empty. So we are going to cap it with one of these little Hemper caps. And honestly, it's not even that bad. So I'm not going to fill it up anymore. This is my old piece from 420 Science. Still still in amazing condition. The logo is definitely coming off quite a bit, sadly, but that one is perfect. Next one, my poor little MJ Arsenal. I really wasn't careful with my pieces that I was using when I moved, to be honest. So it's my fault that something broke. That's usually how it goes. When I'm being a little bit more reckless with my pieces, I feel like that is when stuff tends to break. All right, we're gonna put all of the stems. I also was gonna mention that I'm really baked right now. But I was gonna do like a little, again, Stoner 101. It would be a super short kind of clip video, just talking about what different glass pieces are. I am not going to put my precious little, again, this is one of the first pieces I ever bought. It's a little fumed one-hitter or chillum that I got in Santa Rosa, as well as, was this full of water or isopropyl? Water. Okay, we're gonna start with the little dragon. This is another little MJ Arsenal piece that I think I was just using it with joints, but you could also use it as a little rig or a little thong. Wow, I am feeling good. Okay. I used way too much with those stems and bowls, but, and like different sizes. I feel like that's definitely something, even when I started smoking, I didn't know the different sizes. Like, to me, a bowl was a bowl. Okay, we're gonna leave them to soak. Oh no, I still need to put some in this. We're gonna do this. Little hack, if you pinch it, it acts like a perfect little spout. You probably are not able to see that action go down, but perfectly filled. Okay, I am going to let them soak for a little bit. While my pieces are cleaning, I'm gonna go clean myself, and then I will catch you guys back. I would say it's definitely good to let them soak for like at least a half an hour, I would say. It also depends on how dirty your shit is. So this is the piece that has been my daily driver, and as you can see, it didn't take much to make it look really clean, and that's because I put new water in it every couple of days. Like, I don't really let the water get super nasty. Anyway, I'll see you guys in just a minute. Alrighty, we are back. Everything has sat for a while. Sorry if I just hit that microphone. So what I'm going to start with is all of the pieces. I'm going to start with the least dirty to most dirty. This is just personal preference. I rather start with the least bad and then work my way up. So again, with the little funnel, I'm going to use that to put a lot of this rubbing alcohol back in the bottle. And this is also a tactic that I'm going to fill up this rubbing alcohol bottle with the least dirty so that then I can keep reusing it. We are back and we got it open. I'm just going to pour a healthy amount of this Epsom salt in there because we're going to end up reusing that Epsom salt as well for the next piece. So it's not like we're going to keep reusing that same amount. Okay, I just wanted to try to seal up that bag. So one of my mistakes is trusting that this is going to stay in there. Don't. I'm just going to agitate it back and forth. And at this point, put a little bit more rubbing alcohol back into the bottle. So now that we've removed a good amount of that rubbing alcohol, we're left with kind of a slurry. And you could do it even more if your piece is really dirty. It just really helps anything that's stuck on there. And this is looking pretty good. So before I pop off those tops, I'm gonna move to the next piece, tilt it backwards. And get rid of some of that rubbing alcohol. And I'm gonna get rid of almost all of it because I'm now gonna take that mix that I've got in here. And this is part of the reason I like to leave a good enough amount so that it's liquidy enough to go right into the next one. Because see, it turns into kind of a thick paste. Alright, and I've gotten the majority of that Epsom salt out of there now. So now this piece has got that Epsom salt and rubbing alcohol in it. I'm gonna grab that topper again and shake. Oh. This one again was a little bit more dirty, so I'm gonna take out the remaining rubbing alcohol. Now it's just that nice thick Epsom salt. And it just makes it a little bit more abrasive. Okay, now this bottle is pretty much full of the nicest looking stuff. I might pour just a little bit in here of this. There we go. So I guess that is the piece I'm gonna do next. Alright, and when the Epsom salt gets that thick, what you can do is add a little bit of rubbing alcohol to it. Dump out the majority of what's in there. Oh, shit. See, this is why those toppers definitely come in handy. Because we gotta kind of mix up that salt with the rubbing alcohol. definitely thankful I have a very big sink. We didn't really splash any out. Alright, again, getting rid of most of that rubbing alcohol. And in the process too, we've lost a little bit of Epsom salt, which is fine. We can always add a little bit more to it. Okay, I'm not going to get rid of any of the rubbing alcohol in there because it's already kind of a thick mixture. So next piece. Now with this piece, because it has that inner bell, what I have to do is put some Epsom salt into the little bowl piece and then use a little bit of rubbing alcohol to swish it around and get it into the bell. All right, we're just cooking along at this point. My poor little broken piece. Now at this point, I'm gonna rinse out all of the pieces we're done with. Okay, we're gonna have to do surgery on this piece. Okay, well, I think I have to forgo trying to get that bowl piece out of this, unfortunately. This liquid I'm not even gonna save because it's been through all the other ones. Well, that's very sad, but I could still use it for a little joint bubbler, which is kind of how I've been using it in recent times. Just got that hair right back on my hand. Good job. Next is going to be this little MJ Arsenal baby. Again, because I didn't use it a ton. Not super dirty. Just going to dump out that rubbing alcohol and rinse it out. All right, now that the pieces are done, we are going to work on the bowls which bowls and stems, which first of all, let's work on my little fumed piece and pour this liquid back in here. The lid is still off. Nice. And I like to leave just a little bit of rubbing alcohol still in the bag because we're going to take those pipe cleaners, which I like to use a couple that I twist together. We're going to get it a little bit covered in rubbing alcohol. And now I'm going to use that too. Oh! I saved it. But, Jesus Christ. We're going to use this to clean the inside of it, which it looks really clean. So, perfect. And that is gorgeous. Stems and bowls. Stems and bowls. There's like just a splash of new alcohol in that other bottle, and I don't want to pour all this nasty bowl water in it, damn it. But I definitely needed the 3 bottles, so I'm going to have to sacrifice that little bit of new stuff. Okay. I'm not super precise about that because it's kind of nasty anyway. Alright, we're going to start with the stems just because I feel like once you do the bowls with the pipe cleaner's kind of done. I'm actually going to grab a couple more. Use it like a telescope. Okay. See how I got all the way to the bottom? So you could just kind of have to figure out what your pieces need as you're going, honestly. And this has got the tiniest, most fragile holes. So I don't really like to do what I'm doing right now. Just because they're so small. So that one's clean. Next one, and I've had all of these for super long, so they're never gonna be completely clear again. Like, I've had all these glass pieces for, you know, almost 10 years, so. And this stem is cracked. Last one. Alright, now all my stems are cleaned. I'm going to start on the bowls. Again, I kind of go least dirty to most dirty. I'm going to start off with my called a bottle bong. My bigger bowl piece. Alright, the next one. Oh, my poor roar bowl is so filthy. Easy peasy. Now, personal preference, I don't like the bubble bowls because I feel like they're way more difficult to clean, whereas these kind of straight bowls are quite a bit easier, in my opinion. And just like that, it is brand new looking. Last one. Okay, now this piece has it's got like a built-in screen. So I usually use the end of the pipe cleaner to get in between each little piece, but that's looking pretty good as well. All right. The last step of this process is going to be emptying out the sink of all this stuff. So I usually just leave the pipe cleaners in the bag with the last little bit. You're not going to be able to see what I'm doing, but zipped it back up. I'm going to empty this one out and put this one in it. And there we go. In the trash. And again, hot water. Okay, again, I really love how big this sink is. That made that super, super easy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope it was helpful. Cheers. I've been trying to do a blinker, but obviously can't quite get it. All right, you guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe if you'd like to see more. I'll see you in the next one. Follow the links down below for all of the things. Bye.